Hi everyone. So we've been busy with this big band chart, and so far we've got a full 32 bar structure, granted with some things missing. The piano's just doing stock chords every bar, so is the guitar. We now have a bass though, and since last time we only had 16 bars. I filled in the other 16 bars. I decided to keep the straight samba for 8 bars as the B section, just because we had it before. If you want to see more on that, maybe I'll make a video. If you want to see more, let me know in the comments. And then a swing A section to end off with a few trumpet chips. And so now into the next section, we want to look at an improv sax solo. Well, certainly the first 16. We'll see what happens after that. So let's just take our main structure, our 32 bar structure, and duplicate that. Let's just make sure we've got all the instruments that we need. Let's have the guitar as well. And R for repeat. There it is. Let's just make a double bar line here. Bar lines, double. So that we know that's what we're talking about. Okay, so in the first 16, let's give this to the alto sax as a solo. Alto sax 1. But first we just need to copy over our straight and swing indications. So let's do that first. Alright, so we're saying we want our alto sax to be playing the first 16 as a solo, probably the trumpet after that for another 16, just an idea. So let's give them the chords that they will be improvising over. We can just copy the guitar part for our first 16, because it's still empty. However, if we did just want to copy the chords, we can right-click, select, similar in this range, and that just selects the chords for us to be able to copy or indeed cut out. So first up, the main thing we need to know is to remove those chords. Alto sax, mute, playing on a grand piano. Okay, then first 16. Then it's very straightforward, like we've been doing with the drums and the bass, tools and fill with slashes. And that gives us a nice improv solo, maybe with some text, Control T for some technique text, and improv solo. Now we want a bit of accompaniment for that, and MuseScore has some really useful ways to use these chord symbols to make some accompaniment. So I'm going to start in the trombones. Let's take those chords again, do the same thing, copy that into the trombones, and actually let's get rid of some other instruments. Let's get rid of our upper voices. That looks much neater. So I want MuseScore to just write some notes in for me. So I'm going to select that again, that area of the trombone 1 that has our chord symbols, and I'm going to Tools and realize chord symbols. This is a very useful feature. It will just do them whatever they are currently made as, but we can override with custom options. So let's do that. We want the literal. There's a jazz interpretation, but we want the literal. In the voicing, I've discovered that close voicing works very well for this, but the drop 2 also works nicely for 4 voices. So I'm just going to go with close voicing. And the duration, I'm just going to say until bar end, because each of my chords is a bar long, and I don't want the last chord making notes that go till the end of the piece, which would be until the next chord symbol, because we don't have chord symbols after that. Okay, and we get this, which is a 4-voice chord on top of a bass note. Very nice. So we're interested in these top 4 notes, which are could be our 4 trombone voices. Obviously, they're a bit higher for now. And then it's got the bass note as well. So we don't want the bass note. So let's just select all of these again. And I would like to show you this chord level selector plugin on the MuseScore webpage. I will put the link in the description. But this thing is really useful to just select certain voices. So I'll show you now. I can go plugins, run plugin chord level selector. I haven't tried all the shortcuts and those kind of things, but I just want to choose the bottom voice, select, and delete. And now I've got 4 plain voices. Really, really useful. Okay, so let's start by taking these down an octave. If these are my 4 voices for trombone, that's probably not a bad range. I think let's just again use that selector, run plugin, select the bottom, select, and move that bottom one up an octave. And maybe that just puts our trombones into a bit of a nicer range, so that our lowest trombone isn't too low. Well, not that it would be for a bass trombone, but our top trombone is in its nice range above the bass clef. And we can even do things like adjust the voicings from here. So, you know, if we want a little bit of variety in the second half, I could take these bottom ones up. So we've got a slightly higher one. So there is this tool called Explode, which then sends all of those down into the other voices. Very useful again. But I just undid that, Control Z. I don't want to do that yet. First, I want to get rid of these chord symbols. So I'll right click, select, similar, delete. Then it's going to be a little bit boring if we just have these trombone chords as semibreves, so we want to add some rhythmic interest. So let's do that. I'm using a repeat here and then changing the note values. And then deleting what I don't want, essentially. So there's some rhythm that I've got, and I'll just repeat that rhythm in the second half. Why not? Cool, there's our 8 bars. We can add some articulation as well. Let's have that in accent. Do-da, tenuto, then staccato again. Accent, and tenuto. And we've got some dynamics, mezzo forte, so let's in fact do the same thing here. Okay, nice little comping line. Let's rather change this one to a mezzo piano, since this is going to be underneath the alto sax solo. Then we can select, let's get our 16 bars, and like I showed earlier, this tools and explode, which moves those 4 notes of the chord into the next 4 voices, into those 4 voices. So very useful. And let's hear it. How is it possible that a marcato mezzo piano is quieter than a normal mezzo piano note? I'm really not sure. Okay, this is not working for us. We can't have mezzo piano. It'll have to be mezzo forte. Let's try that. All right, great. We just lost our drum kit. Okay, so there's a quick little comping kind of thing that we can use in our lower brass. Very nice. And we can change the voices quite easily before we explode. That's, I think, the big thing, is get it on one staff and then explode it once you're comfortable, because then we've got all the articulation, all the dynamics and things that we want. Very, very quick and useful. Let's try the trumpets in a similar kind of way. Let's get them in the second 16. So let's race through this a little bit. Okay, so we've got our articulation, we just need some dynamics. I'm nervous, but let's try it on the mezzo piano. Trumpets do tend to come out a bit more than trombones. And tools explode. Wonderful. Again, unfortunately, the mezzo piano is just inaudible. Mezzo forte it is. It would be really nice to have those contrasts that you can actually use. Like, we know that mezzo piano trumpets would be just fine against mezzo forte trombones, and still audible. You know, you would still have that clarity of sound, and that just is missing. Anyway, rant over. Okay, here we go. Next section. Okay, so I think that's, again, some nice comping. We've got different rhythms going on. It's the same chords. We're just doing a couple of different things with them, which is really fun. One more thing I want to try, which since I heard about it, I've been dying to try out, and that is brass mutes, which are now a thing. They were always there in the samples, apparently, in the MuseBrass, but MuseScore didn't have a way to access those samples, and with the last update, I think 4.2, we now can. I don't know if it was that or if it was a MuseSounds update. Anyway, whatever it is, we now can. So in text, and muted brass, perfect place to have under a sax solo, just in the background there. Let's try them out. Text and mute. Okay, let's have the trumpets first. There we go. That, I think someone else has said it before. I'm pretty sure that's a Harmon mute. Nice for jazz. Interesting choice, because for classical you would normally have a straight mute. But let's see how it sounds here. Anyone else get a shock over there? Okay, so apparently we don't have muted accents. And so those just go straight back to the normal, as if they're hurriedly taking out their mutes. Okay, a pity. I'm going to leave the accents in there because we want those accents, and we'll hope that they improve, or they fix that up soon. How about trombones? How are the trombones doing with mute? I'm guessing also that accent. Do we get a staccato note? Nope. Is it just me? That is the staccato note, everyone. Oh, that is... Okay, needs some work. Again, I'm going to leave it there. Still, quite a nice muted trombone sound. Let's see about the balance with everyone. I mean, in a way, those accents do sound quite cool because they just pop out, but we want them popping out in the context of the mutes. All right, cool. We have some mutes. I'm not saying they're perfect. It probably is the case that Harmon mutes in trumpets would sound a little bit quieter than straight mutes on trombones, but that balance is not ideal. The mutes are not supposed to make that much of a difference in volume. They're more of a difference in timbre, and we're getting a big difference in volume. Let's just give this a try and see if we make those forte. Do we get any kind of a nicer sound on those mutes? That is actually a very nice sound on the trumpets with the forte muted. You wouldn't want it written like that though for your big band, which is unfortunate. I guess that might just have to be something we live with for now. All right, so there's our alto sax. Now, like we keep saying, this could be a demo, which means we need to actually write this alto sax in. I think I'm going to leave this to you. Does anyone feel like writing an alto sax for these chord changes? Take the first 16. I'm not a saxophonist. Maybe there's a saxophonist out there who's keen to write us a little solo. I'm going to leave it there for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.